Hello there and welcome to Sling Paint Gaming. I'm Patrick. Today we're going to be unboxing the Trident-class Assault Ship, aka the Leviathan. It is already out of the box here. We've got an amazing model to take a look at. We're not hesitating at all. So, I mean, at first glances, it is a perfect setup. You've got a nice, beautiful red. You've got the yellow eyes. You've got even a little bit of blue back here and the tentacles, and a nice gray and brown as a secondary, but incredible. I'm just going to take this off the base already. I mean, you can see even even these little viewports here. You've got some nice yellow there. It's a little intimidating when it's on the table. I'm not going to lie. It's the color, it's the tentacles, it's its size, the detail, and then of course this is my favorite view. Because basically this thing can, eat a ship. It can all of a sudden wrap itself around it. I even have a CR90 here. I mean, this thing can basically hold one up. So if you really want to intimidate your opponent, yeah, just put a CR90 in it and have it go around the table and crush one while it's attacking another. But you've got, the drill in the back. You've got its front cannons right here, and you've got of course, tentacles that are there for gripping onto ships and also making it very maneuverable, because we'll go over the dial later as well. As far as, its movement or what it can do as a model itself, the base right here, bottom tentacle, that one does not move, because that's basically what's securing it to the base here. I mean, you wouldn't really want it to move, but it's just locked in place. Same thing with this top one. I'm thinking that, they don't want it to move all the way up here, and then, you go to put it away and it snaps off. The only thing that does move on the ship are these two tentacles back here, and, they only open a little. They don't open too much. Other than that, there's no other mobility or movement on the model, which, first impression, it is a little disappointing. You would hope that, it would bend here or maybe even bend at the joints here, but I can see why they didn't go that direction. For costs and also, things breaking or snapping off. But don't worry, this thing is durable. The pieces here, they're pretty secure on. Nothing really bends and breaks unless you seriously try to. I don't recommend it, of course. But they definitely made it to where it's going to last, and it's quite durable. Also, always, these pegs down here, they don't stay in very well. It does stay in pretty good to the model. So, I mean, I don't recommend picking it up by the model. I would always recommend picking it up by the bottom. I don't even recommend picking it up by the pegs either, because they do tend to pop off. It's just one of those things that hopefully AMG can get fixed. I doubt it, but I mean, it is what it is. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this model. It is absolutely amazing looking. Other than that, I have nothing else to say about it. It's quite intimidating to have it on the table, and it is absolutely astonishing to have this as a ship in the game. Especially since you have your other ships like the CR90. Your basic gray tones, a little bit of splash of red. Same thing with the Raider. I mean, it's black and gray. Same thing with your Gazanti right here. This is classic Star Wars. This is something completely different. It's definitely got that wow factor. So when you're putting it on the table at the store, people are going to definitely come by and say, "What is that?" "Oh, that's Leviathan." "Yeah, what is it?" "Oh, it's a ship from the Clone Wars series, so it's Star Wars." That's not Star Wars. 100%. This is Star Wars, and I'm excited to see what else they might put out in the future for it. But I know you guys are excited about the model. But let's take a look at the contents as well. So in this pack, you're going to be getting a stack of cards. And I do mean a stack, because it comes with, of course, what we didn't really get to see, the cards for the actual ship. So you've got the Kolkoi Destroyer and the Lawless Pirates. The ship's ability which is actually pretty good. Tractor Grasp, after you perform a Tractor Tentacles attack that hits, the defender gains 1 Tractor token. So on top of the other abilities that you can do with this thing, it looks like once you grapple something, it is tractored, almost regardless of its size, but we can always take a look. You're going to get, 3 of these tracking torpedoes, which I can't wait to try them out. And then you've got your crews and stuff like that. So you've got, Max Took, you've got General Grievous, Asajj, and also Hondo Anaka. We'll go over all the cards and contents. We already did a video. Go ahead and click the link there, and you can go over all the cards that we went over for the Leviathan. But, I mean, even the enhanced propulsion here, basically you get a free boost at the start of the end phase, which is pretty incredible. But what I'm really excited about in this pack is the AI cards. This is what makes this pack especially special. AI cards that make you play a solo mission. We're going to go over that solo mission as well. So basically, this thing can move on its own. So if you like to play the AI with the either X-Wing AI app online, or you download it on your phone, I know there's probably an AI for this ship already, but this is another way to play it, and I think it's amazing, and I tested it out. It's pretty sufficient. It can go either by the closest ship on the table, or it will actually assign an aggressor token to a ship, and then that's where it determines how to move or where it should focus its attention. So just this first one right here, if the ship with the aggression marker is in the Trident's right or left arc here, the Trident executes a 3-bank maneuver. If it's in its right side, it executes it this way. Otherwise, the Trident executes a 4-white straight, and then assign the marker to the nearest ship, and then it takes a calculate, and then also a target lock action on something with the aggression marker if able. There's 6 of these cards, and it'll give you 6 different ways. You're going to basically put them on the table, you shuffle them, and then for each turn you flip it over and play that card. So absolutely brilliant by FFG. I know AMG is now the head of X-Wing, but they've said this is FFG's baby. So I think they should at least be noticed that they were working in this direction. This is where they were headed for AI and solo missions and putting scenarios back out there. But always, you got your quick build cards. You will need one of the quick build cards for the scenario, Hunting Leviathan. So you've got your Scum and your Separatist, because it does allow you to play for both. This is also what's great. You get 4 turret cards, because you'll need those in the second scenario, which thank you for including those. You've got your tracking torpedoes, like I said, and then your damage deck. Let me tell you, I just played a Flight Group Alpha mission the other weekend. These critical cards, if you think the ones for X-Wing miniatures are something to be seen, the ones for Epic Play are absolutely incredible, because you're going to get things like Scrambled Orders. Before you engage, gain 2 GM tokens, then repair this card. So this thing gets 2 actions a turn as base. Imagine those not existing that turn. Especially Hull Rupture. This one actually killed a CR-90 with, I think, 11 damage out the gate, because it got hit with a proton. So it not only took the 4 damage from that. This is after defending. If you suffer a hit or a crit damage, suffer 1 additional hit damage for each of your face-up damage cards, then repair this card. So the CR-90 already had 5 crits face-up, so it suffered 11 damage after all the crits. So, I mean, definitely go through this. You're going to see what's very capable of taking one of these ships down rather quickly, especially when you use upgrade cards like a precision shot, because it not only adds to it. For this one, it's the attacker chooses one of your upgrade cards that is not offline and flips it. So you can really take one of these down quickly if you build up your list appropriately. So other things you're going to get 2 booklets here, which is great, because I will emphasize, this is all you need. You can buy this pack, jump right into Epic Play with a Separatist list or a Scum list. It comes with your huge ship rulebook, and it tells you everything you need to know about using a huge ship, how you can equip it, how you can take items. So basically, you've got your shield and energy trackers. You've got your cards. You've got how to use the initiative and shooting phase, because it does have 2 on it instead of the 1 like classic X-Wing. The 8 is for its movement, the 0 is for shooting. That can change with upgrades, so don't worry about that. You've got how to actually execute a maneuver with it, with your maneuver template, and this thing it comes with is plastic. No more paper, an excellent maneuver template. So then you're going to have your additional rules like overlapping stuff or crashing into another epic ship, which can happen, and overlapping obstacles, other ships, and basically what you would do for each of those. So when you overlap ships, it shoots them to the back or in your rear arc, and then you face them basically any which way like that. And then after you've done that, they can rotate the ship 90 degrees. But they do suffer damage when you overlap them. You suffer damage as well, but I believe it's on a die roll. So you can also use arc indicators for the turrets that you can equip to this. It goes over face-up damage cards, red maneuvers, which don't actually technically cause stress. They remove your energy unless you don't have any stress left. Docking with ships, which it is a lot of fun undocking and docking, and they even give you a description of that, where things come out the side. Your ion tokens and tractor tokens on large base or on huge base ships, and then obstructions, move and effects and stuff like that. So it just basically covers it if you've never played it, and then here's a quick reference guide for it as well. So they didn't have to include that. They could have just left it as is, made you go buy the epic expansion, but they didn't. They said, no, here you go. Here's everything you're going to need. So here's basically all the contents. We'll go over those in a minute. And then also all the things that come with the Leviathan, scenarios that you're going to be able to play. There's 2 in here. And I got to tell you, we'll go over the the Leviathan Hunt. It is an amazing first mission. And then we'll go over how you can possibly fix it. All right, here's all the contents here. I'll try not to make it as shiny. Here, let me move this back. There we go. So what you're going to get a base, which is going to come with a scum and a separatist side, 3 torpedoes, which I'm very excited to test those out. It's going to be a good time. We've got 4 of the either turrets or tracker tokens or basically objectives. I'm glad they gave you 4, so that, again, you don't have to buy anything else. Everything's in this pack. You've got your strain, your depletes, ion tokens, your points trackers or objective tractors, charge tokens, tractor tokens, your target locks focus, your dial, which, let's look at that dial. I mean, wow. You get a 4K, a 2 back, a 1, what is it, a 0 bank, a 0 stop, and then a 1 reverse that's white. I mean, this thing is super maneuverable. I'll even show you the 4K real quick because people have always been asking, how does this thing 4K? You line it up on the first hash mark against the middle hash mark here. You execute it until you hit the 4, and then you literally rotate it around, and that's a 4K on an epic-sized ship. And let me tell you, it did that maneuver against me. It definitely spun around and hit me hard because, as you can see, it does have a normal front attack, which most ships do, except for, I think, the CR-90 and the Raider. They have a side arc attack, but don't worry. Either still hit like a truck. It's got a base attack of 3, and it also it does regain 2 energy a turn, and then 1 shield a turn. It has 10 hull to start, but you can tell it definitely has a good amount of actions on its sidebar. It can even take an evade for itself, which is pretty unheard of for an epic ship. But you know, you'll definitely figure out what this thing's capable of as you fly it out in the field. All right. Everything else, make sure you look for this box in the pack. It's kind of, shoved in there. It looks like a spacer, but it's not, because inside are all your hardware. So you've got your maneuver template. You're going to have your base, all your little peg, there you go, all your little peg clips there that keep the dials together, and then also the pegs for your ship right here. So definitely look for this box. Do not throw it away without grabbing it, because it is kind of hidden in there. You will shake the box and you'll hear it, but I mean, I've definitely looked at boxes before. Most spacers like that are empty, so don't throw that away. Also, you're going to get your range ruler, which you can then piece together because it is a two-parter. It shows range 1 to 5. You just take out these little bits right here, stack it on it, peg them together, and then you have your full range ruler. All right, in this pack, which you can tell, I mean, it's got everything. Rule sheet, the rule book, maneuver tools, ship damage deck, 5 punch-out ruler, or a 5 range ruler, punch-out, the Trident-class Assault Ship, a huge plastic base, 2 plastic pegs, ship token, resource tracker, Trident dials, because it does come with the Scum and the Separatist. They don't just give you one. The tokens, ID tokens, we already went over all the other tokens, but you also get the, where is it? The Asaz Ventures, General Grievous, Hondo, Mar, Riff Tamson, Zealous Captain, the Stewart Captain, Strategic Commander, the Tracking Torpedoes, the Ion Cannon Battery, Ordnance Tubes, Point Defense, Targeting Battery, Tractor Tentacles, Drill Beak, Enhanced Propulsion, Proton. I mean, I could keep going, but this is a huge pack. It comes with a lot of gear to equip to this ship. So it is right now for U.S. dollars. It is $100. In other countries, your currency is going to vary, but I mean, it's worth every bit for this ship right here. I mean, honestly, this thing is worth every penny. So, what else are you going to get in this pack? Let's go over it right now, because of course, we played through the scenario and play tested it. It is a lot of fun to hunt this thing, because there it is, the Leviathan Hunt. So basically, you're going to set up 4 markers. That's going to be attack points by the Leviathan. Basically, this thing, works in the shadows. You're hunting it down. In a swirling nebula, a terrifying vessel lurks in wait. A team has been sent to find this craft and eliminate it. But who is the hunter and who is the prey? So you can see right there are 2 red and 2 blue markers. That's going to indicate what happens during certain steps for the ambush attack. So if you roll a hit or a crit result, then it comes out of the red. If it rolls a focus or a blank, it comes out of the blue. Each turn that goes on, you're going to put down, I believe, 3 asteroids, 3 debris, and 2 gas clouds. And then you're going to hide little obstacles in between there, which are the markers, the ones that basically count for marking points. Let me show you real quick. These indicators right here, you're going to hide those in the asteroids. You have to then have your ships get in range 1 in arc, and that then tries to detect the Leviathan. After you have scored 6 of them, that's when the Leviathan shows up. Until then, things get pretty crazy. And don't worry, the instructions, as you can see, it goes over them, because then it's a lurking threat. Basically, every turn, these little markers or objectives, they rotate. Sometimes they'll strain you, sometimes they'll attack you, then sometimes they'll actually move, which is pretty ingenious by FFG. So they're hard to pin down sometimes. You can't attack them, but they can attack you. Once the Leviathan is revealed after finding all of, or obtaining all 6 of those markers, then the Leviathan shows up in one of the hyperspace points, which you can see on the board in between the red and the blue. So the Leviathan will all of a sudden show up. You're going to use the 8 threat card, and then you just have at it as much as possible. So when you build your squads, you're going to do, if you're playing just by yourself, you do a 200-point squad or 8 threat. 2 players is 100 points each. 3 is 75 each, which is a little weird because that's 225 points instead of 200. So, or 3 threat, which is 1 more threat than everything else. And then the 4 players, 50 points. So it's a little uneven when you do play 3 players. You'll gain some sort of advantage. In that case, I would recommend that the Leviathan also go up to the threat 9 level or threat 10. But let's go into it. So when you play this mission, it is going to be pretty What should I say about this mission? It's fun. It's a great way to learn about epic play and scenarios and triggers and going through the instructions and getting a solid hand on not just having ships on the table and playing it out that way. There is a lot to this. It is very entertaining because, I mean, you're literally not facing or shooting anything. You're just flying around the board trying to get range 1 arcs on these little tokens on asteroids and then trying not to hit the asteroids as well. So you're definitely going to have a learning curve not having to shoot something in the beginning while being shot at. So that it is a lot of fun. Once you realize how the game goes, you might have to play through it a few times just to get it down. You might forget some triggers. That's okay. It's a solo mission. That's what it's there for. It's there to teach you how to play. Once you have everything down, you've located it, your ships probably will have a lot of strain tokens on them. You're going to try to clear those as you go. And then the Leviathan's going to show up. Now, I played a swarm list. I played 8 of the... Or not 8. I took a lat gunship as well as some of these much smaller ships, the Nimbus-class V-Wings. I took a bunch of them. That way I could spread out faster, find these objects, and then reveal a Leviathan. Once the Leviathan was revealed, however, it went down pretty fast. It's not that big of a ship in regards to hull and shield, so it basically has the same hull and shield as a Decimator, and it has the same defense value, which is 0. So, I mean, this thing is going to melt pretty quick once you get guns to bear, because it only has 4 shield, 10 hull, and depending on which of the quick builds you put on it, which this one will get the tractor tentacles, the drill beak, and the optimized power core. So nothing that's really going to help it in the long run. There is a threat level, 9 and 10. I would recommend going up to those if you've got a good grasp on the game. I would also limit your squad points if possible. I would take closer to 150 than 200. That way it doesn't happen, or it doesn't, end that quickly. You actually want a little bit of a fight. You could even have ships come out of this thing as it's going as well, some of the Vulture-class droids. Because I found that when I was flying around, even though that my little ships were getting strained, the little tokens were, the markers right here that get to shoot at you, they don't hit that often, and even when they do, they're not doing much damage. So, even when you're strained, because the target priority changes, and it really doesn't have the punch to really scare me. I didn't lose any of my ships. I got all of those tokens, I think, after 3 or 4 turns because the number of ships I played, and I was easily able to take it down. I'm going to do a video on that. Don't worry, just show you guys how to go through it. But yeah, other than that's just criticisms as far as, a person who has played scenarios most of my X-Wing, life. So as much as it was, or as easily it was to take it down, it's still a lot of fun to play that mission because getting all those maneuvers and then getting, a rock within range 1 in my front arc of this, because it has to be your front arc, can't be, a side arc. It's fun because you're literally just flying around the board maneuvering and trying to pick these things up as you go. But take it as it is, an absolute amazing battle because, again, once the Leviathan shows up, this is the second page of rules and instructions on how it, selects a target and how you can defeat it and stuff like that. There is the second mission, which is Rising Tide. I haven't had a chance to play this one yet, but it looks pretty cool. It's got turrets in it right here to where it can then shoot at you. Those are range 0 to 3 or range 1 to 3, and they have a 3 attack die, so they might be a little bit more sufficient at damaging things. And then you play a 400 squad versus a 400 squad, and you try to destroy the turrets before the planet can lock itself down. So there is, I can't emphasize enough, there is so much in this pack for $100. It is 100% worth every penny because of what you get. You get yourself a ship that can be in 2 different factions. You've got cards that can cover both factions, and it comes with its own solo campaign. It comes with 2 different scenarios. It comes with everything you need to get started. It doesn't make you go out and buy anything else because it has its own damage deck, it has its own upgrades, and all the plastic and cardboard to go with it. So a home run in my in my opinion. Definitely, if you're into epic or into huge ship play, this is almost a must-have just by looks alone, and also by the upgrades that you're going to want out of that pack. Absolutely. I can't say enough about this ship, honestly. Yeah, home run. So that's it for today. We're gonna do, the Hunt the Leviathan mission. We've already played through it, but I want to record it and get it out for you guys to watch because it is definitely a sight to see. Other than that, thank you. Go ahead and smash the like button, click like and subscribe, and share these videos because we love pumping them out and we love your feedback and support. So thank you for that. Go out and check at your local gaming store. Thank you very much. Have a good one.